And this whole smart building concept, I mean, there's accreditation and bits around that now, aren't there? So maybe, what's your experience with that?
Yeah, well, when we're building networks for buildings and we're often involved at the tender sort of stage, people are often going for things like well accreditation or WiredScore. And when you've got something like WiredScore, you get marks on how connected the building is, how smart it is for the users in there. A small cell or a DAS solution is ideal for a building to have in place. At the end of the day, we've got to think about the users in the building. It's not just a building there where people are going to go and work these days. They also want to be able to go onto apps and look at certain things. So having the flexibility of different connectivity in a building is very important. So the WiredScore comes in as a really important thing to benchmark ourselves against when we're doing and
interestingly as well, WiredScore recently have changed their to become platinum on WiredScore. I don't know the exact requirements, but they've increased the mobile signal side of it, the scoring, to get that platinum status. They brought it in a couple of years ago and did it sort of lightly, so it was like you need to have one operator or it be putting in place some sort of resilience around mobile signal. But now I think the new tiering says that you have to have at least two operators.
I believe there's at least two, yes.
So I think that's a key thing. And the reason WiredScore are bringing that in is because if you're going to say that this, serviced office or nice brand new building in London that you're trying to rent out is platinum, you need to say that they've got good resilience from a lease line point of view, but also good resilience from a cellular point of view as well.
Absolutely. And I think we work a lot in the co-working space. When I say we work a lot, we look after networks and companies who rent space out to other businesses. Some of the questions that they come back with aren't just around the IT network, but they're also around the phone network. If you've got a lot of people in the office who are trading and things, it's imperative they've got good connectivity. And they don't always want to be using their work phones, i.e. the desk phones you can pick up. Mobiles are in use all the time. You've got Teams calling now, which can come through to your apps on your mobile phones. The other thing we're seeing a lot is apps in the workplace for, I think we touched on it earlier, Mark, around smart parking. So car parks traditionally haven't got Wi-Fi in them. If you haven't got Wi-Fi in there, how are you connecting into the internet to go onto your app and pay for your parking?
Well, that's the thing, like cars just generally, I mean, I've recently upgraded to an electric car and it is like a mini computer. So you are connected all the time. But if you drive down into a basement car park and you don't have connectivity, especially with a lot of the payment terminals, they're app driven.
Correct.
So if you can't open that app and operate that app in a basement or in a solid concrete car park, you're going to struggle to actually charge your car when you get into car parks, and that market is growing massively, obviously.
And more importantly, I can't annoy my wife and turn the heating down from my phone
exactly.
if I haven't got connectivity.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like your life is smart these days.
It is.
It is. I mean, it's interesting talking about construction. One of the things we were talking about just before we started recording was that we're seeing a trend definitely from a lot of the requests we get. Even now, the majority of the requests we get are for retrofits. So just closed our brand new hospital up, and we've just realised that when we put the final pane of glass in, there's no mobile signal. Because again, Faraday cage, it's the thing that we say the most, and it's the reason that signal can't penetrate. So a lot of our requests are retrofit. We are starting to see, I wouldn't say the trend reverse, I wish it would reverse a bit quicker, but we are starting to see people now at planning phase saying, right, we're probably going to need DAS in here or mobile signal, or we're going to need, fit for it. Are you seeing that shift a little bit more as well, do you think?
We are. I think you've obviously got the PSTN turn off with BT happening. So you've got things like lifts now that have got 4 5G signal cards in them. Where are they getting that signal from?
Especially in a lift shaft.
We're seeing a big uptick in lift inquiries.
We've seen that because they've actually confirmed now. I think it's going to be January 2027.
Correct.
because it was delayed by COVID, I imagine.
Yeah.
But it is now definitely happening.
It is, and it's a serious point. People have got to get their lifts in order. There's so much OT around in the networks now, where people want to connect in with air quality sensors that might have SIM cards in.
Yeah, the IoT world is massive as well.
It's huge.
It
huge.
And all of that relies on mobile signal in your building.
Yeah, especially because people don't want to be always installing cables for a new device.
Or
connecting it to the Wi-Fi. And
I mean, we do it with most of our installs. Is we, instead of relying on our customer to give us internet connection, we'll put as our monitoring device, we'll put a little 4G router on the connection on the hardware, because we then don't have to rely on the customer's network. We don't have to worry about them kicking us off their network because they see a device that they're not sure what it is, all that sort of thing. And it means we're fully in control of our equipment. And that's the same in smart buildings, that you might have the vending machine manufacturer, they want to be able to connect to their vending machine all the time, so they'll put their own SIM card in it rather than relying on Wi-Fi. Or
a lot of these things don't need to sit on a traditional IT network.
No, exactly. So why?
Personally, I don't want a lot of these things on an IT network.
I was just going to
from
say,
a security point of view, I'd rather some of these things do sit
independently.
Even devices, even just people walking around in that building, you don't. If they've got good 4G or 5G, why do they need to be on the Wi-Fi network?
Correct.
The more people you keep off it, you're keeping that network free for what it's there for actual work.
So from a building perspective, I can see the growth is really sort of going out there at the moment from the smart building technologies that are being put in, the PSTN turn off, and the users. Really.
Yes, no, definitely. I think the analogy that I've made a few times, and it's a bit of a silly one, but you don't close up a new building or plan a new building without planning for mains water.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I know it's a silly one because, of course, it's a very obvious one for lots of different reasons. But, people wouldn't plan a new building without thinking about Wi-Fi. No. Of course, because of the internet, But I think this, mobile signal, it definitely is a growing issue, because you need to have that fallback, that fail-safe. But more than that, for customer experience, for whether it's colleague experience, customer experience. And what we are seeing actually is, and we're working hard on a bit of product development ourselves, sort of like Amplify QX, which is our product line, which relies on a certain manufacturer. But what we are seeing is some product development. So, more and more now, and we're working towards it, not just public cellular, but actually private cellular can plug into it. So we can, and we're close to being able to launch private cellular within our Quattro system. Quattro is a cell fiber connectivity product. It's part of the Amplify QX product set. And so we can now put together public and private cellular. Private cellular offers lots of benefits for, especially, factories or warehouses that have got Internet of Things. The latency on Wi-Fi would be such that, and being less reliable, if your robots go down, in a big warehouse, a minute's worth of disruption could be tens of £1,000s worth of implication. Whereas the private network means that you don't need to suffer that, or you've got immediate handover between the two and the fail-safe with it.
Absolutely. I think if you look at something like a warehouse, where you've got people often working on radios as well around there, or scanners.
Yeah.
A lot of this uses like SIM cards.
Yes.
If it's not using a SIM card, it's using wireless. If you try to put wireless into a warehouse where you've got different stock levels going up and down all the time, potentially liquids, things like this, the signal can really vary. We've seen it before. So having another sort of technology in there to give connectivity onto these devices is imperative for me.
No, definitely.